3, 2, 1.
Let's go!
Hey everybody, how are you all doing? Look at this. Let's see. Let's play a little switcheroo here. Okay, there we go. Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. It is us. It's Diana Tavania, the ladies of ladies and lyrics. And yes, it is Wednesday. And we have a special guest here with us tonight. You all want to enjoy our show. Our special guest is Suzette R. Vernon. Do I need to say the R, Suzette? Because I noticed that you put it in everything. So is the proper way for me to introduce you is with that R?
You can do with the R, or you can just go straight Suzette Vernon. That's it.
Vernon. Thank you for because I said it wrong. But hey, I want to make sure I get it correct. Vernon. Did I get it right that time?
You got it right, girl. You got it right.
So welcome to the show, guys. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. It's us. We're here live and in person. We want to make sure we shout out to you today. So if you're on time and you're here, go ahead and say, hi, what's up? And you know what? You have to welcome our special guest, Suzette. So please give her a warm welcome here, ladies and lyrics, and let's show her how we do tonight. All right. So I see Mo is here. Hey, Mo, on time. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, how are you? And then we have we have Tiger. Hey. And then she said, welcome, Suzette.
Hi, thank you, Mo.
All right. So we have I say this every week, but I just feel like it's true. So I'm going to have to say it again. We have a hot show tonight. All right. It is hot. Right. It's always hot, right, Diane? So look, Diane is on. I have to go ahead and see how she's doing. Before she says anything, though, I want everybody to take note that Diane, once again, has a different background. So, Diane, just tell the people where you are this week.
This week, I am an hour from Jacksonville, Florida. I am in Georgia. And the reason why I say an hour from Jacksonville, Florida, when you say you in Georgia, people automatically like, oh, she's in Atlanta. No, south. I've been doing a little traveling. I'm excited about this thing here. I'm looking at myself. I don't know how it looks to other people, but I feel like it's like a dream. You know how a dream is a little cloudy. This is
you
not a dream.
You do have kind of a dream effect going on there, but that's okay. You look cute. You look fabulous, so that's okay.
Okay, I'll take it. Thank you. I'll take it. Thank you. But I'm feeling great. I am so excited about this show. Like all shows, Suzette, I'm so happy that you're here. I'm excited to hear your story. I'm just glad that you are part of us today. I'm excited. Yes, I am. It's going to be a good show.
Hey, Benita, and welcome, Elijah.
Hi, Benita and Elijah.
You ladies will go. Oh, thank you so much. We love the compliments. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. So look, you all already. So I said that we have a special guest, Suzette. I want to throw it to her. And Suzette, would you introduce yourself to everyone and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Again, my name is Suzette Vernon. I am 64 years young. I am happily married and the mother of one, the grandmother of two rambunctious twin boys. I am quasi-retired. I say that. Before the show, we were talking about how in the beginning when I was doing my coaching, I looked at it more as what I do. And now that I have retired, I realize that it is who I am. Absolutely. And so I am a coach. I am a truth speaker because I speak to the truth inside of you so that you can live and love on your own terms. I'm all
Mhm.
about that.
Yes.
I am a musician and a singer and a songwriter. Been doing it since I was 7 years old. Played for my first church choir at the age of 10. The first person I ever coached was my baby sister. I taught her how to play the piano against her will, but I taught her, and now she can outplay me. So, yes, that's who I am in a nutshell. And the rest about me, I hope you'll experience it. I hope you'll
Yes.
experience it for yourself.
Well, welcome.
Well,
Welcome.
we're looking forward to the Suzette experience. Just so you know, we're looking forward to it. And
Absolutely.
then Elijah said, "Hey, Suzette, I love the word rambunctious." All right. So, look, thank you so much, Suzette. Are you all ready? Diane, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. We're ready for some good music, some real talk with us dope women.
Yes.
I love that. I love that.
Yes. I love that intro too. I do. I love that too. Oh
Oh,
my
thank
God.
you, Elijah.
Yes. Yeah. That's who we are. Okay, so I'm on this side and just want to talk about something. I'm just thinking about this person that's in the news. OJ is gone.
Yeah.
And some people have good things and sad things to say
It's about
about
like,
some people have good things and some bad things to say. And the sad thing is when you hear, so when he passed away, my son said he passed away on April the 11th, because I was traveling back to the East Coast. It was April the 10th. I thought it was the 11th. Okay, April the 10th. And I said, when you say OJ, immediately people don't even think about that he was a famous football player. Like he was a legend, but all of that was wiped away from what they said he did. I have my opinion about that, but that was all wiped out. It's like he never played football, because all you ever think about is when anybody mentions his name, immediately they say he killed two people. And all that he built before that is so sad. To
It
some
is.
people, it means nothing. So sometimes we have to, hopefully, people will let our legacy live on, So, I'm not going to say he did it. I'm not going to say he didn't. I'm going to keep that opinion to myself. But at the end of the day, he made a big impact in the game of football. So, yeah, and it's kind of sad that he will not be remembered for that. He will be remembered as a murderer. It's really sad, It's really, really sad. Yeah. But we want to just, just touching on him a little bit and his contribution to the world, besides the negative turn in his life. I don't even want to go all into that, because I feel like he was greater than that, greater than what happened. Yeah. So, I mean, everybody have their opinion, right? Some people, Elijah's like murderer, and I get it. If you feel that, I get it, but you cannot take away what he contributed to to the United States, to the world, really. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing because I remember when my most vivid memory of OJ was the commercial where he's running through the airport.
the Hearst commercial.
Yeah, that was my first memory, and then him being a drop dead gorgeous man. I mean, come on, back then we were just almost like OJ, right? And so it was very hurtful. My opinion of it is this: I don't think anybody's going to really know whether it's true or not, except for him and the people who were there.
Absolutely.
That sadly don't have a voice.
Absolutely.
I knew some things were incriminating, very much so. And to be honest with you, I didn't even watch the trial. It was just too much. I didn't watch it. I know there is, I don't know, we live in the day where public opinion can be swayed so easily,
Mm-hmm.
and people can jump on board if somebody says something enough or the propaganda is compelling enough. People will very easily jump on board. And I tried my best with him not to do it. All I can say is it's sad. It's sad when you have a legacy, or you are the first. You're somebody that elevates the conversation about Black people, about Black men in particular. And then something like this happens to you, but it also lets you know how fragile your reputation is.
Yes,
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 absolutely.
it
You
is.
know,
Yeah. Let's see. I saw a couple of comments and then I'll chime in a little bit. He said, "You lost them in gorgeous, Suzette Elijah."
oh, back in the day,
And
Elijah,
that's the day everybody did love OJ. This is
honey,
true.
back in the day, he was like Denzel to us back in the day. He was very handsome back in the day. Ah, thank you, Helen. I read when I saw he had passed.
Mo said, "I didn't care for the headline I read when I saw he had passed. I thought it was distasteful. It's also unfair to his family and his friends who are grieving him. Let God or the universe deal with the rest." And then the other comment was, "To me, it's between him and God. I wasn't there, but one remembers the good. No one remembers the good." You know, I mean, you both just said it. Diane talked about the fact that he had this legacy that he had in place as this great football player. He had all these endorsements. Everybody loved O.J. Simpson. They loved him. And then this thing happened. And because this thing happened, that's really that's his legacy. You know, that's what he's being remembered by that. I was telling my sons in school when the verdict was coming in, I was at Chicago State University. They had his trial. They were showing it every day. And people weren't even in class watching the trial. And when the verdict was about to come, people were just standing around the TVs. No, I didn't watch the trial itself, but I did watch the verdict.
Yeah.
I don't chime in or say what a person did or didn't do because I wasn't there. I don't know. And I wasn't a part of the jury. I didn't look at all of the evidence. All I know is the same line everybody else knows. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. We all know that line, right? Everybody knows that. Even if you didn't watch the trial, which I didn't, everybody knows that. And he got acquitted. You know, according to those people, he was innocent. But
You know what? It didn't help that he wrote a book. What was a book called If I Had Done It? That did not help.
No, not at all.
That did not help his cause at all. That did not help his cause. But Suzette, you said something about legacy, and I kind of wanted to touch on this and ask you two this question, as we all are, you know, a little, you know, more up in age, and we probably thought about this. Maybe some other people on here haven't really thought about it yet, but legacy. And what is that? And what would I'm going to read two definitions for legacy because you can think about it in two different ways. And these are the two definitions that I thought about when I was thinking about my legacy and what I might want my legacy to be. So the first definition is it's an amount of money or property that you leave to someone in a will. That's your legacy. Or it's the long-lasting impact of particular events, actions that took place in the past of a person's life. So thinking about those two, you could choose either one. What would you want your legacy to be? And if anybody else wants to put that in the comment, please. It's not an easy question. So it might take. I just thought about it before we jumped on because that's the first thing that came to my mind. Like O.J. Simpson's legacy is this murder. And I'm sure that's not what he wanted to leave. After all that football fame and all the things that he did.
Absolutely.
So what would you want people, what legacy would you want to leave behind for people if you could think of something? Sorry, putting you on the spot.
Oh, no, that's such a great question. And I felt some tears kind of go up behind my eyes because I think the older you get, it becomes a very serious consideration
Yeah.
because you realize that, especially when you're my age, that most of the years have already been lived and that you probably
Mm,
will not live that long
Yeah.
going forward. And so at first I thought my legacy was going to be financial because I had these dreams that I was going to be a millionaire and I was going to do these things and I was going to change the financial trajectory of my family. I was going to be that person that was going to change it for generations to come. And I'm not saying that that can't happen. It just hasn't happened yet. And
Yeah.
so as I've gotten older, however, I've expanded that because, we think about money, which is very important, but wealth is something even more important because there are a
Mhm.
lot of people who are cash rich, but wealth poor, right? And
Mhm.
so I want to leave a legacy that I was here and it mattered. It didn't just matter to the people that were closest to me, but that I used everything God gave me, everything at my disposal, everything that He equipped me with, that I used it to the best of my ability with reckless abandon, that I did not let what people think. I didn't let what any of that stop me from being the light I'm supposed to be and
Yeah.
shining so bright that people's lives have been literally
Yeah.
transformed.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Literally. And not
Mhm.
just that, but I also, in this internet world, I know sometimes the internet gets a, bad press, but the truth of the matter is what we record, what we do now will live on forever. So this gives us even a greater opportunity to leave a legacy,
Yes, it
Mm,
does. Yes, it does. Yeah.
right? So that's going to outlive us. And so I'm becoming more intentional with what I put out.
Yeah.
That I want to be authentic, I want to be real, I want to be honest. And I feel like the greatest gift that I can bring is my honesty, my vulnerability, and my honesty. Because I feel like when I do that, it gives other people permission
absolutely.
to do that as well. And I can say, if I'm this way and this happened for me, you can hope that you will get over what burdened you before. You can get over your circumstances. That there's something that I leave and deposit in people that's going to change their
Absolutely.
lives and help them to
Absolutely.
reclaim a piece of themselves, their souls, their divinity, the God inside of them. If I can help reconnect them with that deeper truth, then I feel like that's a legacy that will exceed any financial deposit I could ever make. Because if
Mhm.
I'm doing that and I'm being wealthy, then whatever is mine by divine right, if it is millions, is going to be attracted to it anyway.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's what I think.
I love it. I love that. I was listening to you and I was over here. Yep, that's right. That's right. Yes. I feel the same way. I want to make an impact. And I feel
Mhm.
like even at this point, I have made an impact on people's lives because when people come to you and they say, I remember when you said, now
Mm.
I'm doing this, or I'm no longer doing that. So
Mhm.
I feel like for me, as long as I continue to live my authentic self, like you said, and being honest and coming, I always say coming naked, showing your truth and all your scars, that it will also give someone a chance to be able to be truthful with themselves. So
Yes.
my legacy it's already started, that I know that my name, not even my name, but what I have given to them or I have said to them will live on because it's already making a difference in their lives. I might not never see them again. And when it comes to the money, I feel that when we deposit into people, it changes their lives. So they will be able to get the wealth because it changes their mindset. So maybe it might be their mindset around money and even our children. So when we leave, I'm not leaving little pieces of breadcrumbs. I'm leaving some slices of bread. A matter of fact, the whole loaf, because I know that my children and my grandchildren, I know I have already made a difference in my kids' life and in my grandchildren's life, and that's going to live on. And my clients, my future clients, and yeah, I'm just excited about that, Devanya. I'm glad you asked that question because I feel like a lot of times we think that cash on hand is everything,
Everything.
and it's not. It's not, because when you have this, then you have the blueprint that you can get whatever it is that you choose, that you put this your mind to do it. Of course, I would want to have the houses and the money, but if they don't have the proper knowledge or what to do when they get it. So my thing for me is the impact and the difference that I make in people's lives. That's my legacy that I have already started. So when I leave here, it will ring on.
Mhm.
Well, I think that that's probably the theme then for the three of us. It's an impact because
Ah,
I feel the same way.
yes.
It's even this platform, even this was created to have an impact on people. Yeah, we're talking about music, but we're using music to make a difference in the lives of people, to have conversations, to get people to start
Yes.
thinking,
Yes.
just like this conversation, right? And the
Yes.
conversation we'll have at the end, which I think is so important. I can't wait to talk about that,
Mhm.
what's going on, because I think it's huge. But for me, my legacy is both financial and um, the long lasting, particularly the actions. I want for someone to see me as a woman who came from, a single family home, who came from some difficult situations, but was still able to overcome. And for
Mhm.
them to not only hear me, but see my actions. And Suzette, you said something I think is a really huge word, to make a difference in their life where it's transformational, where they actually go into action and they do something different to make a better life for themselves. So for
Mhm.
me, getting property and having something to leave to my children is important to me because I did not have that, and I want to show them, start that with me, and we can start to build that legacy. I want that to, hey, this started with my mom, and we have this property, and we have another one, and we're doing this. I want my legacy to be whatever that lady said she was going to do, she did it. That's what I want my legacy to be. So, and I think
Mhm.
I'm on the right track for that. But it was something that was not really an easy question, but something I think we should all think about, because one day we won't be here. But how do
That's
you
right.
want people to remember you when you're not here? So we have a lot of comments. I'm going to share some, but Suzette, you look like you wanted to say something before I go to the comments.
I was going to say, and it makes me wonder if our kids, and I say our collectively as a society, if we taught our children more about legacy, would they make some of the decisions that they make?
Hmm.
If we kind of give them that sense of, you're not just doing this or have you're not just doing this because you're my son or my daughter. It's
Yeah.
not about the family name per
Right.
se, but
Yeah.
you yourself are a living legacy. You're an extension
That's
in
right.
this world, and what decisions that you make now are going to either be for your better or for your worse. And I wonder if we talked about legacy more as a collective society, especially with our children, if we talked
Yeah.
about that more, if we talked about that more than the American dream,
Yes.
I like that.
or that
Yeah.
along with it to give it a balance,
Yeah.
would it make
Mhm.
a difference in our kids?
I think it
Absolutely.
will. I think it will.
Let's
Yeah.
go to some of the comments before we go to our song, our music. So let's see. We talked about what legacy do you want to leave? And Karen said, the type of person I am, caring, sharing, willing to help, mostly loving. And then Elijah said, I choose the latter. I want my legacy to be he made people smile and laugh as soon as he entered the room, which is true. We know that's true. All right. Hey, Yanni, thank you so much for joining us and thank you for your comment. We're so happy to have you. We're definitely gonna have you back on. You know that. She was one of our guests who that if my finances are there, that that also with lessons I have taught someone. So the finances as well. And I think Valerie was agreeing with one of us. Not sure it was. Come in, Suzette. Okay, come on. I love that, Suzette. All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Let's see. And he said, we have all have a purpose in the world. We do.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and I feel like we should be serving those gifts and things to the world, right? We should be serving
Mhm.
them. RIPOJ Jizzle. Oh, Jizzle.
Well,
Okay.
just-
If you haven't thought about it, I think it's an important question maybe to ask yourself as you're going throughout this life, what type of legacy do you want to leave behind? And once you ask that question, the next question is, am I doing the things that I should be doing in order to leave that legacy?
Absolutely.
So,
That's
with
it.
that being said, let's transition. Let's transition into some music because we do have a song tonight. We get to talking, and I really enjoyed that. I think it's very
Mhm.
important. But Diane, we do have a song tonight.
Got a
We
song.
talked about this month. We wanted to talk about some of the top male groups of all times, and we could not talk about the male group without talking about the Temptations.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure.
The I was so geeked about the Temptations that do you know what I did yesterday? I watched the movie The Temptations again
Okay.
for the thousandth time. I was happy, I've seen it so many times, but I just love it. And Leon playing David Ruffin. Oh my God, this is terrible. But I watched it again just because I was excited about this. Let me talk a little bit about the Temptations and the song, and then we'll have Diane play a little bit, and we'll talk about some of those lyrics. So, talk a lot about the Temptations because I could go on and on because I believe we've done music by them before. But if you know that they are from Detroit. They released a series of successful singles and albums with Motown during the 1960s and the mid 70s. They are known for their choreography, their distinct harmonies, and their style. They have sold tens of millions of albums. They are one of the most successful groups in popular music. They were formed in 1960, and in the Wikipedia said their name were the Elgins. But when I watched the movie, they were the Otis Wilson and the Siberians. Then they were Otis Wilson and the Distance, and then they were Elgin, and then finally came up with the Temptations. I didn't even know all those names they had, but they're the Temptations now. They had hits like My Girl, Ain't Too Proud to Beg, I Wish It Would Rain, and the song that we're talking about tonight, Just My Imagination. They had 4 Billboard Hot 100 number one singles, 14 R&B number one singles, 4 Grammys. And did you know they were the first Motown group to get a Grammy? I didn't know that. They were
I
the
didn't know that.
first ones. Yep, they were the first ones to win a Grammy.
Nice.
In 2013, they received the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. They were ranked number 68 on Rolling Stone magazine's a list of 100 greatest artists of all time. 6 of the members are inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And in 2023, they were ranked number 1. Like this was 2023. I had to write this down. They are ranked as number 1 artist on the top 100 greatest R&B and hip hop artists of all time, according to Billboard magazine. Otis Williams is still out there doing his thing. He is like temptation. He said Temptations for life, and he meant that. So he's still out there doing his thing. With that being said, our song "Just by Imagination" was written by Norman Whitfield, who wrote a lot of songs for Motown. This song was from their, let me see, because I can't see. It was the third song to reach #1 from their single, and this was actually like the final song that featured Eddie Kendricks because he left the group. So, Diane, I'm done talking. I'm done talking about him. Let's hear a little
Okay,
bit of
well,
the
let me
song.
give y'all a snippet, and I'm gonna say this. Make sure I turn it up. Listen good, because you know it's not gonna be long.
Like this fast. Diane, let's say this. We do not own the right to this music.
We do not own the right to this music. We probably need to put that in the caption too. So
We probably do. We probably do. We're gonna add that.
yes. So here we go. That's it. I'm sorry.
That's all.
Okay, yes, because people don't realize, right? Is you guys don't see this part. They will be sending us emails about how they're gonna shut up, like
Oh.
they're not gonna play this part, they're gonna cut it out. We can't show this video. So I rather for you know the words, y'all can look it up. This one,
Running away with me. Suzette, look, you'll start to notice I'm always the one trying to sing all the words. When you come back, you'll see again. Every time we have a song, I'm always trying to sing it.
I'll be hearing you today, girl.
I'm gonna sing some part of that song by the time we get Anyway, this song is so good. I just love it.
Good stuff.
Each day through my window, I watch her as she walks, as she passes by. Yeah. I say to myself, I'm such a lucky guy. See, that is Suzette.
Go ahead, girl. You sing that song. Sing that song, girl.
Now look, when you hear that, you think, oh wow, this man has this woman, he's in love, he's got this girl, and you think this is his girl.
Yeah.
But the song says, it's just my imagination running away with me. So it's a crush. He has a huge crush on this woman who he's seeing every day. I was talking about this song with my son. He'll say, in this day and age, that's stalking. It's like he's a stalker, which it probably would be a stalker at this point, right? Because he's saying the same thing. I would have reported him. I am such a lucky guy. Aw, 911. Oh my God. Okay, you know what? Maybe you might be right.
Oh,
but so I'm going to defer to our guest first before I jump in. I kind of said a little bit, but Suzette, we talked to you. We sent you the song, told you what we were doing tonight. What are your thoughts about this? Do you have any special lyrics that jumped out at you, or any thoughts that came out from this song?
Well, it's almost like in the beginning, like you're saying, he's talking about seeing somebody and all of that. Then he said it was just my imagination. And I thought about relationships in general, how in the very beginning, when you meet somebody, you think it's chemistry and you create these fantasies in your mind about the person and you don't even know them from anything. And we do it like people still do it. It's like you meet somebody and you have a good feeling. Let's just call it the butterflies, you feel like, it's like, yeah, I could have sex with him. Yeah, I could. You're thinking that kind of thing. And then it's like, then you talk to your girlfriends and everything, and you don't even know them that good. You just have one experience. And you're like, but he opened the door for me, and girl, I really think he might be the one. I'm like, so they're not too off. That's still happening with women in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, where just that whole euphoria of chemistry, that attraction thing,
That
Get you
attraction.
already thinking about where you're gonna live and how he's gonna walk your dog and all this kind
Yeah.
of stuff. Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that was
Absolutely.
the first thing that came to my mind is like, you know what, that's still going on.
It is. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Suzette, and you said, it's the euphoria. You don't know these people. And then you talked about attraction because attraction is huge. I
It
mean,
is.
and we talk about it a lot with men, but even with women, let's just talk about it from our point of view. We see stuff that look good to us too. And we're like, man,
Mhm.
yes, like and like you
Yeah,
said, he just opened the door for me, and I created this whole relationship. Like, yes, we've romanticized
we do.
this person, and all we've done is just see them in the physical, and
Mhm.
it's just a physical attraction.
It really, really is. And honestly, because I had to really study relationships in order to be my own rescue,
Mm-hmm.
because I had already been married twice,
Mm-hmm.
divorced twice, and all my subsequent relationships were with emotionally unavailable men.
Wow.
And so it was excruciating, constantly bumping my head against a brick wall.
Yeah.
And so I decided that instead of continuing to let my ego continue to blind me by telling me, oh, there's hope, sometimes hope can be very dangerous. If
Mm-hmm.
if it doesn't have any substance to it, it can be very dangerous. And so after a while, I awakened to the fact that I was the problem because I was attracting the same kind of man, just in different shoes.
Yeah.
So for my own sanity, I had to really become a student and let somebody teach me something. First, I had to learn who I really am and what value I put on me that I can't be talked out of by a pretty face. First of
Yeah.
all, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the truth is, a lot of times when we're not with anybody, we are our most confident selves. Then you get in a
Yes.
relationship with somebody, and your girlfriends are saying, "Well, who are you?"
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? Because a
Like,
lot of people,
where did you go?
where did
Yes,
you go? Yeah,
absolutely. Where did you go?
where'd she go? What?
Yes.
She didn't even like that color. You
Yes.
know, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like too many times, even a
Yeah.
strong, capable, smart, high achieving, boss lady women, a lot of us fall prey to getting lost in relationships with men that we got to recover from. And I
Absolutely.
said, okay, that was me too. So what was the issue? What was the
Mm.
issue? It was that, number one, I didn't know enough about men. Let's be for real.
Mm.
We date them, but we don't know nothing about them. Or we
Mhm.
base everything on our one or two experiences, but we still don't
Yeah.
understand men collectively. Men, how do they feel? How do they show love? How do you even know if he is a good man?
Mm-hmm.
How do you even know if you don't let somebody teach you, right? And
Yeah.
so I had to put my little ego and my little to the side because I was accomplishing a lot. I was a public success, but a private failure.
Mm.
Mhm. Mhm.
A private failure. And I know so many women that look so good. They're so put together. But if
Absolutely.
you were to sit and talk to them, some man is running them ragged
Mhm.
Absolutely.
because they don't know who they are.
Yeah.
They don't know their value outside of their certifications.
You better
They
tell the
don't
truth.
know. They only know
Yeah.
what they've accomplished in life, but that does nothing to make you relationship ready. And so
Yeah.
I had to become very clear about, okay, Susan, you got to bring integrity, not just with the you when you don't have a man.
Mhm.
You got to
Yeah.
have integrity with you when you have a man
Yeah.
Yeah.
and not be so willing to give you away.
Yeah.
And so I had to get really, radically honest. I had to ask my cousin. I had a male cousin. His name is Lawrence. Rest in peace. Lawrence, I started dating again, and I told Lawrence, I said, Lawrence, I tell him about men. And I'm going to tell you, he was 99.9% right, but I thought I knew better. But you don't understand. You don't understand this connection that he and I have. You don't understand
Yeah.
his wife don't understand him the way I do. You don't understand. You know, all these different things that we tell ourselves.
Yeah.
And he was right every time. So I said, okay, my ego is messing me up. I need to, like, sit down somewhere
Okay.
and let myself apply something. And because I did, I think that's the reason why I'm happily married now. Because I had to know what I didn't know and be humble enough to understand that my bad experiences with men did not qualify me to judge them.
And you know what? I think it's personal. I think as a woman, as women, we do not necessarily take the time to be alone and to really get to know ourselves and what we want. I don't know about you, but I will say that when I was young, I started off in a relationship with my husband. You know, I got married, and then I was in another relationship. But I was in these relationships, and I never really knew what I even wanted in a relationship. I never even knew who I was or what really did I want. So I was just jumping from one thing to another. And like you said, it just failed. And it wasn't really because of the man. It was because of me, really.
It was because of me.
I didn't do the work for myself or know what I really wanted out of a man, but even who I was myself as a woman. I didn't even know who Divine Trinette Reed.
And back in that day, you know, I don't know how you were raised, but back when I was raised, it was almost like you catch the fish and you clean it. You know, so right?
100%.
I didn't think about what I wanted. It was like, oh, he's paying attention to me. Oh, he wants to marry me. Oh, this kind of thing. So, oh goodness, he's the prize. So he wants to marry me? I never asked myself, well, do I like him?
Yeah,
what do you took enough time to even find out enough about him to see if I actually liked him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely. Right. It's just like, oh, we're together. Right.
Yeah.
Do I even like you for real? For real? Like, are we even
You got to
really
give it time.
compatible? Yeah.
Or he might be able to date well. And, you know, a lot of times we fall in love with that. Well, he paid for the meal. He opened the door. He did that. He did the other thing. But sometimes people are just good at dating. That doesn't
Well, what do you want, though? It's like, what do you want? Do you want to just date? Or are you looking for a husband? Because if you're looking for somebody just that dates well, maybe that works for you. But if you're not, if you're looking for something more, then you should be looking for something more. When Yanni was on here, she was talking about how we as women say we want one thing, but then we start changing it. Like you said, Suzette, we become, oh no, I can move around. I think I can compromise on this or compromise on that. And and you just start to really compromise on what you really want. But are those the areas where you should be compromising? I'm gonna let Diane jump in here because we do have a question. Diane, this time is running out. So
no, go ahead. Go ahead with the comments. I'll jump in.
Okay.
I do have something to say, but I'm let's let our other
well,
co-hosts.
I kind of popped them up, but I thought this was funny, Suzette. I want to talk about that.
I love it.
It's never enough with women.
Oh, big Josh.
And then you just had some people agreeing with you. I don't know what the comment was about this, but I know you said that the door swings both ways, not just men, it's women as well. I think you were speaking. I'm not sure what that comment was about. I can't remember. But if you want to elaborate on that, Tiger, please do. So Diane, go ahead and jump in there so we can
No, well,
go
I'm
to
gonna
our
just go back to the song, Suzette. I agree with everything that you said in reference to dating, and I like we were talking offline earlier that I feel like when you get older, you start realizing those things because you're younger. We have this fantasy mind, like the song, just my imagination. We have already created this person that we haven't even met yet. And like he's saying, they getting ready to get married, they're gonna have 3 kids, they doing it all. And then he's like, well, you know what? It's just all in my mind. And even I feel like when you're younger, I can say younger because I feel like as I got older, I started learning who I was, taking out the time, like Divania was saying, to learn who I was and what do I really want and what was I really attracting, right? So the men were not available, not even saying that they were in a relationship, but they were not mentally available and then not really available to me because what I was putting out, that's what they were giving me and that's not what I wanted. So I had to really, like you say, take a step back and say, listen, what do you really want, Diane? And when I did that, I did attract what I wanted. For God lent me him for a little while and I appreciate that, but I can honestly say that if you do the work and you know who you are, because a lot of times, like you said, professional women, we got it together, we doing our thing, we step outside, we looking good, we're talking good, we speaking good. People are like, oh wow, I know she got it together. But inside, we're rattling because we're broken into so many pieces. But when we step back and pull ourselves together and get ourselves together and say, you know what, this is a non-negotiable. Nope, I'm not dealing with that. Nope, I'm not. Because see, they can date good, like Divine, y'all was saying, they could date good. But then after a while, even if you just want to date, after a while, that gets old, right? That dating because then you're going to want something more than just that, after a while. But I just think that the biggest thing is that you got to know who you are because our imagination will take us some places and it never comes to life. It's always a dream. You know what I'm saying? You're always dreaming. Like he said, he was looking out the window. She's walking by his window but she's not your lady. She's not with you. And I just think that for me, being older, I'm more sure and more grounded, and I'm standing on more of a solid ground, knowing what I want, knowing that I'm not going to. Some things is not negotiable. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be the best looking thing out of the book, but you need to treat me. You need to be good to me, and like I want to be good to you. I know what I'm bringing. What are you bringing? And let's see, and just getting to know the other person. But I feel like once you know yourself, you're going to want to learn the other person because you're not going to let them come into your space. You just, especially if you're in a space of peace, it's peace over here. You see this here, she peace. And I'm not going to let nobody shake that peace. So, yes.
All right. I'm sorry, Diana, to cut you off, but we are running out of time. So let's read a couple. Come on, I know, right? The time goes by so fast. Time flies when you're having fun. He said, Joshua said, this is what he meant by men can't win. He said, I date well, but my feet stink. I open the door, but my hands sweaty. We just can't win.
Yeah.
And then Helen said, a deeper thought is that daughters are raised to be wives. We are often taught that our purpose is child rearing and marriage.
That's true.
And women have imagined their weddings when they were playing with their dolls. That is true.
That's true.
And then Joshua said, I think it's pretty nice, though, that he feels that way about a woman. Maybe yes, but make a move then. Stop fantasizing. Make a move.
But guess
I wanted that goes back to something else, but I'm not going to talk about it because if we get on there, we're going to run out of time. And I do want to get to our what's going on, Diane. Let's shift gears. Look, that's a great song, and the conversation was awesome. But we do have a what's going on, and I want to talk about it because while I was away in Miami, my sister and I were having a conversation. We were walking down the street, and we were talking about this car that she was looking at. I don't know anything about cars, but we were talking about this expensive car, and she was talking about people buying cars. And then I said, but a car is not an asset though. As soon as you drive it off the lot, it depreciates, right? It loses 25% of its value already. And then you're paying on it. So you're buying this expensive car and you have a $600 note that's not an asset. So I want us to think about, if you haven't thought about this, tonight I want to talk about an asset versus a liability. Meaning a liability is something that I have to pay on. I owe some money on this thing. So even though I have it in my possession, it really belongs to somebody else because I have to pay them money. So I want us to start thinking about possessing more assets than liabilities, and start worrying about our income. Like, oh, how much do I make at this job? I want to make $100,000. Oh, I'm making six figures, but what am I doing with that money? I'm spending it on a $600 a month car note. Does it make sense when you're thinking about if you're thinking about somebody, the type of life you want to lead, and the type of legacy you want to leave behind, right? Because we're talking about legacy. So this is a full circle moment. If you're thinking about your legacy, do you have to think about your assets? So when I'm talking about legacy right now, I'm talking about monetarily, because it is so crucial. We as a people, especially us, people of color, Black people specifically, we spend a lot of money on material things that really have no value, right? They're not going to give us to a place where we want to live. We're living paycheck to paycheck. Let's just be honest. We're living paycheck to paycheck, a lot of us. When we get paid, we pay the bill. We almost broke by the time those 2 weeks come up, so we have to pay these. Most of us are living like that, and we still want to put on the best, all the name brands, and buy all these expensive cars. A home, when you buy a house, it is a liability. You have to pay money to people. It can become an asset if you pay it off. If you pay it off, it's now yours. It's an asset. What might be smart is I have a home, but let me get some rental property. Let me get an asset. Let me get some kind of property where people are giving me money, right? So then when I take that money, I take it and I invest it into another asset, right? I don't take it and I don't spend it. I don't buy more new shiny things. I accumulate more assets. So that my column I have more assets than I have liabilities. That way I can lead the life I want to lead, and I can leave a legacy to the people who I love, or a charity, whoever I want to leave it to. But as a people, we really have to stop thinking about our paycheck, because it's not getting us anywhere. And we have to think about, how can I get more assets? How can I get more assets in this column versus liabilities? That was what I wanted to talk about. Two ladies have something to jump in, because I could keep going. But if you want to jump in on it and add something, I have thought about that, or what would you say to people regarding assets and liabilities? Suzette, did you have anything?
What I thought about, and I don't want to talk about the salacious part of this, because when I watched it, that part did not mean as much to me as the very thing that you're saying. When Cat Williams had the interview with Shannon Sharpe, one of the things that stood out for me was not so much what he said about different people. Part I zeroed in on was when he said, I don't owe anybody. This is mine. And because this is mine, I didn't have to kiss nobody's butt. I didn't have to do any of these things to compromise my integrity, because I own my own intellectual property is mine. So he could say anything he wanted to say, whether it was true or false. It didn't matter. Nobody can come at him, because he's not plugged into those situations where people are, quote, owned by somebody else.
Yeah.
And that got me to really thinking, And it really kind of changed my mind also about my retiring. At first, when I early retired, I felt like it was because all the planets aligned to the point that was like, you need to do this. It's a long story, but I know we don't have a lot of time. And so that's what I thought. And I was kicking and screaming inside because I'm like, I thought I was going to work till the day I die, you know. And then it came to me, well, why do you still want to work for a system that does not care about you?
Yeah.
Why would you still want to work for a system that basically is slavery for hire? Why would you want to? You put this money into your Social Security and you're in a place now where you can get it out. It's your money.
Right.
So why should you continue to do that? So now I have the opportunity with my life. Then now I can say, okay, because my husband is still working, what do I want to do with this money? What do I want to invest it in as opposed to continuing to work? Now I'm thinking in terms of what can I own?
Yeah.
That's mine. That is not tied to a bank. That's not tied to a lender. That's not tied to the upper 1%. That nobody can jerk my chain because I'm finally in a place now where this money that I get every month, I get to decide what to do with it.
Right.
And I think that goes to what you're saying, Devanya, where we have to start thinking in terms of legacy, thinking in terms of freedom.
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 Absolutely. You're a musician. Your music, that's intellectual property. That's yours.
That's
an asset. Your music, you know, your scripts, your whatever. That's
my
yours.
voice.
Voice. Take it away from you. Absolutely.
It can't take it away from me.
That's
And so I can take that and reproduce something for myself, you know?
Yeah.
And I think people a lot of times, and when people look at celebrities and different folk, I'm reminded of what Viola Davis was saying, and Taraji P. Henson said it as well. A lot of these celebrities that look so good are the working poor.
Yeah.
They don't make as much money as we make.
And you absolutely right. When I was in California, we went in some neighborhoods. Karim took me into some neighborhoods where they are Black actors and actresses that live in the neighborhood. And if you go in the neighborhood, you wouldn't even think that this is where these people live at. But the great thing that I thought about was they probably own their home. You know what I'm saying? It's not a liability. So they're still working and they still might not make that much, but they invested their money smart. They didn't jump around and buy the biggest house that there was to buy. And it's just you or two people. You know, they were able to do that. And then when you always talking about owning, and this is on a smaller scale, even with a car, we get a car before we pay it off. Here we go to the car dealership, trading it in, and we got a car. No, it's like you never own it. Why you put all this money into it? Of course, you're paying too much for it in the beginning, and then you don't want to own it. Don't you want to own that? So like you said, you can have something that's yours. I'm just saying it's on a smaller level. But when you're just thinking just that little simple thing will lead you into saying, well, you know what? How can I pay my house off so I can own that? Or how can I get rental property? The thing here in, well, I'm not in North Carolina, but in North Carolina, we don't have too many 2-family homes and things like that, where you could just rent out part of it and you live in part of it. But just being able to buy another property, like you were saying, Devanya, and have one property pay off the other. But we're not thinking like that. We're jumping all over the place and want to get the bigger and better things. And it's
all for show. It's all for show. We just want to look the part, but we're not. We're playing a part. We're just playing a part.
Yes, absolutely. Let me tell you something. I like nice things, but I promise you the things that I have, if I told some people how much it costs, they'd be like, really? Really? Because I'm going to the sales rack with other folks.
Diane, we have to get ready to go. Oh my God. So Suzette, we have to cut out exactly at an hour or we cannot replay.
Yeah,
this, and we always like to play our show.
We have
So
to
look,
go.
everybody, thank you so much for joining. Guess what? Jagged Edge won our contest, so we will do a song by Jagged Edge. If you have a specific one, go ahead and drop it in the comments. I'll see it later or put it in our messenger. Thank you so much. Everybody say thank you to Suzette. We enjoyed our conversation with you tonight.
I
We
enjoyed
will
you.
see you all back here with a song from Jagged Edge. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to drop those songs in the comments. See you all next week. Bye.
Bye.